Welcome to Monday, the Monday edition of the Snews here on LonghornStation.com. Yeah, we look sleepy, so what? It was a busy weekend. He was out with the Reckless Kelly Celebrity Softball Jam, then calling Austin Aztecs soccer, and I'm out there hanging out at the Texas State Jam, whatever it was called, Lone Star State Jam with our friend Jack Ingram, etc. It was a busy weekend, and somehow in between, we managed to squeeze in hours and hours and hours of NFL draft coverage and a buttload of NBA playoff games. And so here we are. What a crazy weekend. First and foremost, our thoughts on the NFL draft. 25% increase in the ratings. The Dallas Cowboys, I would give that draft a C, Ahmad. I didn't see anything that made me excited, but again, the Cowboys didn't need a whole lot. They were a playoff team last year.
Yeah, I don't feel like they drafted need here, so to speak. I felt like they drafted what they felt like was the best player available in both scenarios. I don't necessarily agree with it. But I must say that you have to respect the Dallas Cowboys. They were one of the very few teams, very first teams, to make this draft process possible and to bring it to the forefront with the way that they drafted, creating a draft board and making sure they evaluate players this way. So Dez Bryant finds himself the first Cowboy that was drafted there. And then you see a guy that also the linebacker Sean Lee out of Penn State, who a lot of people are calling a hard worker. He was the captain of that team. A lot of players of his teammates have a tremendous amount of respect for him. That's the one thing when you look at a college player coming out, John. If his teammates have that type of respect for him and he can produce as well, you usually have a leader in your locker room. The Cowboys are lacking that, so it's good that they got a young player. Maybe he can sit behind Keith Brooking, learn some things. And then from there, I just, I don't know. I like the tackle out of Notre Dame. He's got great size. They think he can be great on the right side of the ball. Doesn't have the footwork to be on the left. But they didn't draft the left tackle, so it looks like the Cowboys are going to have to go out and find one of those guys in the offseason and probably also a veteran safety as well.
When's the last time you got a guy who started 50 consecutive games for the Fighting Irish that wasn't a top draft pick? That tells you a lot about Notre Dame football under Charlie Weiss. All right, shifting gears just a little bit, and oh, by the way, on the NFL draft, Cincinnati Bengals, buy your Bengals gear now. They got 4 Longhorns on that roster. So we'll see what happens with Cedric Benson, Jordan Shipley, Quan Cosby, and Rod McElroy. Should be a lot of fun up there in the state of Ohio. NBA playoffs, we saw a battle last night between the Spurs and the Mavericks. And now, in order for the Spurs to be eliminated, the Mavericks must do something that franchise has never done, and that's rebound from a 3-1 deficit to win a best-of-7 playoff series. Amazingly physical last night. There's no question Eduardo Nahara was sent into the game to maim somebody. That's exactly what he did. We'll see if there are any repercussions, but in the meantime, tomorrow night is must-see TV, Game 5.
And it's must-have George Hill. That's what you need to say. Tim Duncan had one of his worst shooting performances of his playoff career. And it was the young man from IUPUI who stepped up. And he was the best player on the court last night. You had 2 finals MVPs. You had 2 MVPs. And this guy was the best player on the court. Keep your eye on him. He's making Tony Parker more expendable by the day, and I hate to say it, but he shoots the ball extremely well. He's shooting from a very high percentage from three-point line. He was 5 of 6 last night, while the Spurs needed him to be there, and this was a close game. So all of those buckets were timely, and they meant something. I think he'll be the difference. I had Dallas winning this in 6. You see how silly the Mavs made me look again?
Yeah.
San Antonio wins this series, and I'm still mad at the Mavs. I might not ever watch another Mavs game, man.
I had the Mavs in 7. That could still happen, but again, they would have to make history to do it. Rick Carlisle will come under some scrutiny if the Mavs get beat in the first round, because this is, they obviously, the front office did what they needed to do to get them some talent, and Caron Butler and Brendan Haywood before the break. We'll see what happens here. Something for your radar. Run, Ricky, run.
Yeah.
Somehow that gets squeezed into your evening tomorrow night in between the Lakers in Oklahoma City and the Spurs and Mavs. So keep that on your radar. Run, Ricky, run. The ESPN 30 for 30 movie, the original movie. Tonight, 3 basketball games and a whole lot of draft talk still to come as free agents sign left and right. Be sure to join us tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. We'll give you all the latest here at LonghornStation.com.